What's up, course heroes? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Amit, and today we are setting up a Teachable school in under 45 minutes. Now, you know, and I have talked about this before, that I'm not the biggest fan of Teachable, but I know a lot of you are using Teachable or considering using Teachable as your platform. And since you are considering that, I wanted to make a video to show you how you set up your Teachable school from start to finish in less than an hour. Now, a couple of things to remember here before we get started. Why I am able to do this in less than an hour is I already have everything ready. And when I say everything, I mean my assets, which would be my logo, my fonts, and also my color scheme and the entire content. All of that is pre-done. I have already put in the work. So now what I'm doing is setting up a new Teachable school from scratch and building it up. And I'm not going to do anything complicated like custom domains. I'm going to keep it simple, keep it basic, and show you how quickly you can get up and running with your online course with the Teachable platform. Now, I'll put in the links in the descriptions below. Let's get started. So I'm on teachable.com and I'm going to sign up for their free plan. And I already have all my details filled in. So we're just going to click on get started. Now, I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, but I also want to give you as much information as possible so you can set up your school quickly. My school name is the same as the name of my course, which is 02 Course Hero. And it says right here, you can skip this for now if you wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and create this school anyways, and you change this name later if you wanted to. So don't stress too much on the name. If you don't have a name picked yet, it's fine. Just leave it something, just name it anything random and continue. And then when you go back to it, you can finish it. There's a couple of onboarding questions that they're asking. So are you a business owner? And then now we are in our school. Now, the cool thing about Teachable is that they give you this checklist right here. And this checklist guides you through the steps you need to take to make your school go live. So we're going to go through each and every one of these steps, except for the first one, which is the live webinar. I've already been to their live webinar. It's pretty decent. So I'd suggest if you're new to Teachable, check it out. Before I begin, I also need to confirm my school. They've sent me a confirmation email here. So I'm going to pause this video, confirm my school so we can get rid of this message, and then we'll continue. All right. And now we're back to the school. Now we're going to take these steps to go ahead and create my school. What I'm going to do is also open up my Udemy profile. This is where I have my course hosting right now, and that will help me in copy pasting some of the lesson names and module names as I try to bring them into Teachable. I'm in my Udemy school, and what I want to do is basically replicate this entire area into my Teachable school and make it more personable. We're going to go through these steps right now. First step here is create a course. Course title is the same as my domain, which is 02 Course Hero, and I'm the author. We're going to fix this author part soon, where I want to upload my own image as my author. And I'm going to start with, you can either start with a blank template, a mini course, or a standard course. So I'm going to start with a standard course and hit create. Now, what's really nice that I do like here is when you start with a standard template, you already get that layout pre-built of modules and lessons. And what I mean by that is this whole thing is considered a module, right? So here's your first module. Here's the lesson inside it. Here's the second module and lesson inside it, and so forth. So that's already built for you. Now, what I want to do is I want to copy all the stuff from my Udemy school in here. So the first one we're going to do is called introduction. Copy that, go in here and paste it. One neat trick that you can try here is in your module or lessons, you can have emojis in there. And I'm going to actually put that emoji in my lesson. So in the introduction, I want to put like a thank you emoji. So if I just hit the Windows and the period key on my keyboard, and I'm on Windows, I don't know what this is for Mac. You can search it, and then I'm just going to start typing thank you and put that emoji in there. So here's my first lecture. For the introduction, what you can do is you can publish the lecture, you can make it a free preview, you can also make it downloadable. So let's continue. Here you can add a new lecture. So I already was working on an existing lecture, and then once you want to add content onto that lecture, you're going to click onto it. That opens up a new window, and here you can add any of these things. So you can add a file, a text, quiz, code, or custom code. We are going to add a file, and that file is going to be my video. So I'm going it says here what kind of files you can add. So you can add a video, audio, or PDF. In text, you basically just write plain text, and quiz is self-explanatory. Code, you'll just put an HTML code, or you can put any of these kind of codes in here, which is that's pretty interesting how you can put so many different pieces of code in here. So I do like that fact. And then custom code would be anything you can inject in here. So let's go back to video files. I'm going to choose a file. Again, all these files I already have. My assumption is that when you are setting up your course, that you have already figured all this out. You have created your course, you have recorded all the content, and now you're basically looking for a platform to upload it all. I'm going to upload it. Now I'm not going to upload each and every video because that will take too long and I don't want to waste your time. We'll just upload this one video, and I'm going to pause this, come back once it's uploaded, and then we will continue. Okay, we are back in business. That first lesson is uploaded, which was my introduction video. Now I'm going to go back here to just show you how I would set up the curriculum. But like I said, I'm not going to upload each and every lesson because that would be too much for me as a bandwidth perspective and too much for you to just sit here and watch me upload all these lessons. But I'm going to create the hierarchy nonetheless. So my next module is validating your course. I'm going to put that in here as the second topic. Now one thing to note here is if I copy this lesson and I paste it here, once you've run out of spaces for the template there, if you're using a template, you can simply click on add new lecture, and that's going to add it right here in this module, and then I can hit save. Now you can also drag and drop it and arrange it the way you want, and you can also hit the little checkbox in front of it, and that gives you a bunch of options up here, which are the same options as here. The only difference being this is for bulk. So if you wanted to bulk make something free preview, you can just hit the little eye icon after selecting all of it. Now all these lessons have become a free preview, which means someone can preview these lessons before committing to buy into your course, which is always a great idea. So you can give them a sneak peek of behind the scenes and let them know that what your potential students are going to be paying into. So I'm going to continue to build this out. I pause this video and be back once this is completely done. I have created the lesson structure and I've saved a couple of things that I want to show you real quick. The first is adding a new section. Once you have run out of the sections that come out of the box, if you're using a template, all you have to do is scroll up to all the way to the top, click on this new section button, and that adds a new section. So the last new section I want to add is called thank you. So I'm going to add that. Under that you can add lessons. So let's say I want to add this lesson. I go all the way to the bottom. Every new section gets added to the bottom of your list. I can add a new lecture, and then when you click on add new lecture, it takes you back to the top of the page. So just scroll all the way to the bottom, rename that lecture, and that's it, you're done. Now if you want to delete a lecture that maybe you added by mistake, you just click the little checkbox in front of it and hit the little delete icon here, and that lets you delete that lecture. So that's it. Now my hierarchy is all set. My course is ready to be published. What I want to show you real quick is how to upload some of those other types of documents. So for example, this one, I want to upload a PDF. I can simply go in here, click on choose files right here, podcast announcement, and then upload this as a PDF. Now you would do the same process for uploading any file. That could be like a JPEG, an image file, a PowerPoint file, any file you want to use, you can upload it here. So now I've uploaded this. Now the other thing I want to show you is when you upload something into a lesson, you'll see this option at the bottom to allow comments or not to allow comments. And what this does is it allows your students to write comments under that lesson. If it is a downloadable file like this PDF, it doesn't make sense adding comments in the downloadable file, because what are you going to students comment on? They would rather comment on a lesson where they're learning something and maybe they want to provide feedback or ask you a question. They can do that in the comments section. We are going to go back. I'm also going to show you one quiz, how to add that. So I'm going to add a new lecture here. In this, I'm going to click into it and click on add quiz, and we'll just create a simple yes no question, and the answer choice is going to be, one thing to note here is you can select multiple answers and those will be your correct answers. So maybe I can check only one, or I can check all three as the correct answers. This way you can control between a single choice and a multiple choice question. Right now it looks like you can only have single or multiple choice. and you cannot have this as a graded quiz. And I see this little notification here that if you want to use graded quizzes, you can upgrade to the paid plan of Teachable. I have a link to a video where I do a Teachable comparison with new ZENLER and show you what the difference is between their paid pricing plans. Check out for that link in the description. It'll also pop up somewhere in this video. That's how you can add a quiz. I'm simply going to leave it at this one and go back to the lecture editor. You can also add more than one thing to a lesson. For example, in this test your knowledge, I've added a quiz, but I can also add a file. So I can say, apart from the quiz, I also want to add maybe this image, and I can upload this image. Now this image is part of it, and then I don't know if looks like my quiz did not get saved, and I have to click on the add question button after I'm done adding all my choices, and this shows you real quick what the correct answer is and what the wrong answer is. If you don't like this course, that's a wrong answer. And finally, if we go back here, let's go back all the way to the main hierarchy. I have uploaded everything that I wanted to, and again, I'm just giving you a hypothetical example. You would obviously want to go in here and upload each and everything about your course. Once you do, you can see this nifty little draft box, which means it's telling you that your course is still in draft format and it has not been published. In order to publish it, you can select all of this and hit this little publish icon here, which is the checkbox. So I'm going to select this, hit publish, do the same with all the other lessons. And this way your entire course, once you have all your lessons, videos, modules, everything all set, you can hit the publish button to publish everything at the same time, and that basically makes your course go live. But don't worry, just because you're doing this doesn't mean that people are going to be able to find you easily. We still have a few more steps to cover in order to make our school go live, and then we can either market it, or you can put links in your existing blog to have people come to your paid course. This part is complete now, and if you want, you can hit the preview button to see what it would look like as a student. And this is what a student view looks like. They can hit the start button, and then once they hit the start button, the course starts, and then they go on to the next module right from
course heroes.
And once they hit the play button, the course starts, and then they can just hit the next button. Now there is some text here that was preset by Teachable. I did not put this text here, and I just need to remember to take it out because this was part of the kind of like the blank template that I was using. When your students are ready to hit the next button, you can see that there's a complete and continue button on top. So they just need to remember to hit that in order to move on to the next lesson on your course in your school. Once I delete this text block, should be good. Now all we have is the video, and I'm going to enable comments on this. Once I'm done, again, this one is I can enable download, I can enable closed captions here, or I can upload closed captions. And I can also turn off embed, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm ready to make this course go live. So I have already published it. Now the next step is, if you look at the bottom here, there are some breadcrumbs which kind of guide you on what that next step should be. We've added the information, we've added the curriculum. Now we want to add a price. So I'm going to imagine that I'm going to charge $97 for this course, which is going to be a one-time price. So I'm going to click on one-time purchase. I'm going to say 97 bucks and add that pricing. You can add multiple pricing for the same course. Say you want to offer this as a one-time cost of $97, or if they don't have the $97 up front, you want to give them a payment plan, you can select a payment plan as well. And I'm going to say the payment plan I want them to pay is $55 or 2 payments of 55 bucks. And I'm going to call this flex pay. And I'm going to add this pricing as well. So now I have a one-time pay, and I also have a payment plan. And you, if you wanted to, you can also add a subscription plan. Let's say you want to give them the third option, which is $7 a month instead of the $97. You can have it per month or per year. There's no other custom options right now. So because you're giving them the option to pay you monthly, you're also going to get given some bonuses instead of just giving them access to the course. This way there is an incentive for them to pay you monthly instead of paying a one-time fee. And then you can also rearrange these pricing plans. I'm going to say that I'm going to move my subscription plan up because that's the one I really want to drive traffic to, then one-time purchase, and then finally the payment plan. And then here you also have the URLs for the different pricing plans, which you can copy and maybe put it on your blog or your landing page. If you're using a landing page builder, different from Teachable. So you can grab that URL from here. So now the pricing plan is done. Our final step is to hit publish on our school itself, which will essentially publish our course. But before we do that, let's return to the dashboard where we can go through that checklist of what our next step should be. So you can see it's 25% complete. Now the next step is to customize the look and feel of your school. Let's dive into that. I'm going to click on customize look and feel. So here I am going to go through these steps. You can see these are the steps in customizing the look and feel of your school. First thing is the logo. So I'm going to upload a logo from my computer. Okay, I've uploaded my logo. The next thing is the fav icon, and a fav icon is that little thing that you see in your browser. It looks like a little icon. It's that little T that you see on the top here, and that's what you call a fav icon. And I'm going to upload a fav icon image as well. Okay, my fav icon is uploaded. The last thing they are asking for is a homepage background, and you can hover over these question marks to get some of these dimensions. For example, the site logo 250 by 60 pixels is recommended. Homepage background, that's the size. And if you want to resize your images or create new images, canva.com. It's a free tool. I love it. I'm sure you've heard of it. That's the place I go for all my graphics. So you can upload a homepage background if you wanted to. I'm simply going to search for, so they have some preset backgrounds here. You can search the web for images, and you can search any of these locations. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to pexels.com, download a image, which would be a royalty free image, and just upload it as my homepage background. I have uploaded a photo, which is a Batman photo, because my course title is Zero to Course Hero. So I look for a hero image on Pexels. Now this homepage background basically dictates if you want to overlay a dark color on top of your image, which is good if your image is really bright or vibrant. And what this does is puts a darker overlay on top of it. So then if you have text on top of your image, it becomes more readable. So that's the purpose of this. I'm going to hit save. Each section has a save button here. The next is your site-wide fonts, and you can only select few different fonts for your font family. I do really like Open Sans. It's clean, simple. So I'm going to choose that and hit save. And then the next is your color scheme. You can either have your standard color scheme, or you can create a custom color scheme. I'm just going to use the standard one here in the essence of time, but you could change this to any other color if you wanted to. Just to give you a quick example, buttons and links. If I wanted to change that, I can either hit on this color icon, or I can put in the hex code right here. I also use a Chrome extension, which you see right here. It's called Color Picker Eyedropper. And if I click on this, I can go to any website. So for example, let's say I want to use this Batman yellow color from the Batman icon. I can click on this, hover over here, copy this hex code, go back to Teachable and paste this hex code here and put the little pound symbol in front of it. And now I can use that as my button and link color. Again, I'm going to hit save. Now, one thing to note on the Teachable free plan is you can only enroll 10 students on the free plan. If you are on their paid plan is when you can have unlimited number of students. And I'll link to the video which talks about Teachable's pricing plan. That's just something you will have to figure it out if that's the right platform for you and if you want to pay for their pricing. I'm not going to upgrade, so I'm going to keep it at the free plan where 10 people can enroll and check out this school. So we are done with the theme. I'm going to go back to my dashboard and see what the next step is. So customize look and feel is complete. Now the next step is set up your domain. Before we get to that, I want to go back to site, which is where you customize your look and feel. We went through this part right here, which was the theme. Next is the domain. Now domain is the website URL that your students are going to type to come to your school. In my case, it's going to be 0toCourseHero.teachable.com, and that will bring them to my school where I'm going to sell my course. So if your course is about how to play piano, you would want to put that domain name in there, whatever is available. You can also do custom domains, which means the Teachable from branding will be removed from the domain name. But for that, you have to be on the basic or higher plan in order to do that. So I'm going to keep this as is. Navigation is basically the nav menu on the top on your home page. What should be for the logged in users and what should be for the logged out users. So if someone comes to your website, if they're logged in, where should they be taken? In this case, they're being taken to the course directory, but I can also send them to the sales page or any of these custom pages. And if they are logged out users, that means someone just came to your site, they haven't logged in yet, then what should be the home page and that's the page you would want to show them. Here's the nav bar. So the nav bar is what shows in the top for your students. They will be able to see their courses, all courses, login and sign up, and you can make this visible or turn it off if you wanted to, or you can completely delete it, and you can also add custom links. For example, I recently launched a podcast which I'll put in the link in the description below. It's for course creators by course creators, so please check it out. It's called Course Wizards. But if I wanted to put that link in here, I can simply click on this, and I'm going to say location is going to be navbar, and it's going to be called podcast, and then the URL for my podcast, I can plug that in here as well. I'll plug that, and then you can control if it should open in a new tab when someone clicks on it. If not, then they would simply be taken away from whatever they're doing right now. I would like to open it in a new tab so they can continue doing what they're doing and still open this link in a new tab. And then I simply click on add link, and now here it is. It's the podcast, and I can move this up or down the nav bar hierarchy if I wanted. And then finally, if you wanted to have a privacy policy or terms and conditions in your footer, you can add a footer link in here as well, same way as we did for the nav bar. And that was it for navigation. The next, real quick, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button so you get notified every time I release a new video. Next is bio. This is where you'll set up your author profile, which would have your author image and the name of your author and any other bio information that you want to give your students about yourself. So I can add my headline here and then my image. So I can just add this, and for the bio, I'm just going to put in some lorem ipsum text in there, and that's my bio. So that was it for the author section. The next is pages. You can create custom pages in Teachable, and I don't think there's a limit to how many pages you can create. This is what your homepage looks like right now. So I can hit the preview button, and that'll take me directly to the homepage of my school. And as you can see right now, it doesn't look like much, but you can see my logo is here. The podcast link is here. If I click on the podcast link, it'll open up the page that this page is designed on new ZENLER, but wherever you have designed your page, it'll open up that page and let your users get redirected. These are all the navigation items that we just went through. This is pretty bland looking right now, but we can fix that later. Continuing on, next is comments. And in comments, basically these are the comments that you're allowing your students to leave for your lessons. And if there are any comments, they would be right here, and you can moderate all your comments from this section. You can also, it says to toggle comment moderation and multi-threaded responses, go to general settings. So we can go and check that out. The general settings is for the particular course. So right now I'm in the course, or sorry, for your school, not your course. I'm in my school settings. Here's my school name, my homepage heading. So you saw that the homepage looked kind of bland as we were on it recently. This is a school name and your short descriptive. So you change that here, but I don't want to bounce around. We'll come back to this in a minute. Let's go back to our site settings for a second. So if I go to the dashboard, I'm going to go to site, and next is custom text. And in custom text, basically you can rename some of these words. If you maybe you are from a country where English is not the primary language, you can rename some of these words to make it more useful for your students and for their language that they speak, so they understand all these navigational items. Same thing with the footer, and same thing with the checkout. All of this can be renamed, and there is a ton you can rename. So you'd have to just go through each and every one of these and rename them to what makes sense to you. I never touch this, but I also take it for granted that I am serving a population that is primarily English speaking, and I understand that is the world is a huge place, right? So your language is going to be different possibly, and this is where you would go in and control all of that, how that should show up for your students. The next is code snippets. So code snippets, you can add additional code on top of the Teachable's library, and you can see here it includes custom CSS across all pages, and this will affect each and every page. And I'm going to show you quickly how this works is by adding a small snippet. I have it copied here somewhere. Okay, I found the code I was looking for. I'm going to paste it here and save it. And now this will show up on any page, which means if I refresh my home page, technically that piece of code should have gone into effect. And in the bottom left corner, you should start seeing some notifications pop up. I don't see them pop up, which means either the code was not accepted or I need to clear my cache. Either ways, I mean, I don't see anything right now. Throughout the video we'll see if anything pops up. So that's where you would add CSS. Now if you wanted to add more snippets like JavaScript or HTML, you have to upgrade to their paid plan. And then finally, Power Editor is the next step from their basic editor, and to access that Power Editor you again need to upgrade to their paid plan. Most people can get by using just the basic editor without having to touch the Power Editor. It should be table stakes these days is that your basic editor is so powerful that you shouldn't have to go into a special editor called the Power Editor. So that's it for site. I'm going to go back into settings. First, where we were for site is we were right here in site, and we went through all of these. Before I go back into settings, I want to go to the dashboard and see what the next step is. It's still showing set up your custom domain name, which means what we need to do here is we have entered this domain name. Now we just need to hit the confirm button, hit confirm. So that domain name has been confirmed, and I can show you real quick by opening a incognito window what that looks like. And again, right now the home page isn't much, so it just says launching soon because I haven't published the school yet. But this is what it would look like without publishing your school to anyone right now. And we're going to publish our school and show you what that home page looks like once you've made some changes. But let's go back to the home here and see what our other options are. So now we can launch our school, and that would make it go live. So I'm going to click on launch school, and this is where they try to get you to upgrade again, but I'm going to say no, launch school with free plan, and cool. Now the school is launched. So if I go back in incognito, open this, now you can see if someone goes to that domain, they are brought to my homepage. And this is what the homepage looks like right now. And we will change this, we'll make it look a little better, but I'm not going to go too much into the editing part of it. I just want to show you how quickly you can launch your school and get up and running selling your course. So as you can see, so far it has been pretty seamless from beginning to end, how they have laid it out on their dashboard of the things that you need to do to complete that checklist. Now, once you launch your school, your dashboard is going to change, and this is what it looks like right now because that launch checklist has been completed. Now we can go into the settings area to set up our payments and see what other options are available in that settings area. So let's head over there. So I'm in my settings area, my school homepage heading and my homepage description. Let's add that now. I'm going to go back into my Udemy course because I have all of that listed in there. And this is the homepage description, and then your reply to email and also the email from. You can add sign up reCAPTCHA. I would suggest this, or you're going to get a lot of spam or bot signups. reCAPTCHA is that little checkbox that tells Google that you are a human, and then you can continue signing up. Prevent payment plan cancellations. I don't like to do this. If someone wants to cancel their monthly subscription plan, they should be able to do that without having to contact me. So I'm going to hit save. Now address is important if you're using Teachable's email platform, but they don't have a email marketing system like New ZENLER does. So I'm not going to fill in my address here. Lectures, you can allow autocomplete lectures. So you can say that whenever they hit the complete button, mark that lesson as completed. You can autoplay videos, and you can also sync users course % complete when publishing. What this does is if you add new lessons to your school, then your students completion percentage is going to reset. So I like this option. I'm going to select this. I'm not going to select this one, and I'm also not going to select this. So I'm going to hit save here. In the comment moderation, you can enable comment moderation, which means all the comments need to be approved by you before they show up in the comments section. I do like that option, so your students don't use maybe blocked keywords, they're not swearing at each other or at you, or they're not putting any malicious links into your comments. So I like to moderate that. And you can allow multi-level threaded responses. That basically allows multiple responses, kind of like Facebook. And then you can enable comment attachments. I'm going to say no, they cannot attach anything in comments. And then I'm going to hit save. And then finally, you can add a blog to your school. I would never suggest a course management platform to be used as a blog, whether that's New ZENLER, Teachable, Thinkific, Kajabi, Podia, whatever, because blogging has so many moving parts than just writing that it almost requires you to have that extra set of tools that these learning management systems cannot provide. I personally love blogging on WordPress, but if you are strapped for time and you don't want to learn WordPress, then Medium would be your second best option, because that is optimized for Google searches, whereas none of these learning management systems are as optimized as WordPress for Google search engines. So I wouldn't suggest you blog on Teachable, but if you want to, have at it, and you can hit that enable blog button right there. But I'm not going to do that. Finally, in status, you can take your school offline if for some reason you're not ready to publish, or you can permanently delete your school. And that was just the general settings. We're going to go through all of these and see what other settings are there. The next is payments. This is how you collect money. So you need to set up your Teachable payments. First thing is to enter our phone number. So let's add that. And then I'm going to say my tax filing status is individual. And I'm going to say my annual sales last year was between 1 and 100 and 1000, and then hit continue again. And then here you can set up your payment gateways. Now this one is Stripe, so you can connect your Teachable account with Stripe, and that way you can accept credit card payments. And my Stripe email is actually different, so I'm going to enter my Stripe email here, hit next, and now you'll get a verification code on your cell phone, so I'm going to enter that. Now this is going to log you into your Stripe account, but if you don't already have a Stripe account, you can create one. It is free to use, and basically Stripe is a payment processor which allows you to collect payments on, or you can collect payments using Stripe. Okay, so I logged into my Stripe account, and then this is the next step where they're asking for more details. So I have put all my details in here, and then on the next step I should be able to just confirm my Stripe account, and that will allow me to collect payments for my course. And then here you're going to enter your routing numbers, so Stripe can deposit that money into your accounts. I'm going to pause this video, enter those details, and be right back. All right, so I've put in my routing and checking account details. I can continue and log into my Teachable, and that brings me to that window. Now it says I'm almost done. We need to set up a few more things, so let's do that. How often would you like to be paid out? Payouts incur a 25-cent fee from Stripe. So if you do daily, you'd be paying 25 cents every day. Doesn't sound like much, but it can add up. Here's my least favorite part about Teachable is their back office. If you do not enable back office, you cannot accept PayPal payments. And that back office has basically, PayPal payments have been put in behind a back office, behind a 2% transaction door. And if you don't want to accept PayPal, you're going to lose money because your students trust PayPal. They don't know your school, so they would rather go through a trusted source like PayPal, knowing that their money is safe. And it's also the ease and convenience. Instead of whipping out my credit card, I remember my login details for PayPal. I don't remember a single credit card number. If you want to accept PayPal, regardless of the plan you're on, you could be on a paid plan, you're still going to have to pay the 2% fees to Teachable. And what that 2% fees is 2% per transaction. If you want to collect PayPal, you need to enable that. And there is no two ways about it. And there are some other things that you can also do in back office, which I really don't care about. But the PayPal is the biggest thing, and you're almost strong armed into using the back office because there is no two ways about it. So let's go ahead and enable that. Would you like to let students pay for your PayPal via courses via PayPal? Yes. And then I'm going to put in my PayPal email address so I can collect payments. And what kind of courses are you creating? Average price, finish. All right, we're good to go. So these are the processing fees I'm going to incur every time I make a sale. I'm going to have to pay a 2.9% fee plus 30 cents processing fees. And then the transaction fee on the free plan is 10% plus $1 plus the 2% back office fees. Just a little shameless plug here. New ZENLER has zero fees other than your transaction fee. Obviously, your processing fees are what they are, and that's to Stripe, not to anyone else. But New ZENLER charges you zero fees even on their free plan to check it out with unlimited students. Just putting a shameless plug in there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit confirm payment settings. We can start collecting money for our school. Again, clearly mentions where your fees are going. So that's at least a good thing to know where your fees are going. So here's my payment dashboard. I can disable back office if I wanted to. I can disable monthly payouts in PayPal. So if I don't want students to be paying through PayPal, I can disable that. Here is my PayPal email. So if you want to send some money, feel free to do that. Finally, we move on to the next step, which is taxes. Now you can enable VAT tax or value added tax if you're from European Union or a country that doesn't want you to collect tax on digital goods. I'm in US, so I don't have to worry about that right now, but I still have to pay my taxes on income earned. Next is notifications. This is all the notifications that you are going to receive every time someone signs up to your school. So when someone signs up to your paid school, you will get a notification. When someone joins the school, you will get a notification. Subscription notifications, and then comment notifications, so you can play around with these, see how many times you want to get notified. If we move on to the plan, this is where it shows you what Teachable plan you're on right now and what plans you can move to and the different features on those different plans. Then next is billing, and this would be your billing information, your credit card, and how many times you've been billed by Teachable. Then integrations, depending on the plan you're on, these integrations might be limited, or they could be, or whatever Teachable directly integrates. So you'll see those integrations here. You cannot integrate with Zapier on the free plan. You have to be on the paid plan to be able to integrate with Zapier. And of course, if you can integrate with Zapier, you can integrate with everything. And then roles, so these are all the roles out of the box. I don't think you have custom roles on the free plan. Looks like for the custom roles, you have to be on our business plan and upwards. At this point, our school is technically live and you can start selling your courses. So I can show you what that looks like. So that was it for the school. You can check out emails, but not available on the free plan. Sales shows you all your existing sales, and then users show you all the users that are in your school as students, owners, authors, affiliates, or custom. And then finally back to the dashboard here, all your courses. You can create new courses by just hitting the plus button here and then setting up a new course, or you can go in here and clone your existing course, duplicate course. The final thing, of course, is about the course. I'm going to continue to do that as quickly as possible. In your course, you already have your bio. We did that. What is the subtitle of your course? And then you can add categories if you want, have different categories for your course. Maybe one is marketing, one is selling, I don't know. You can set those up. Branding would be your thumbnail. There's a dimension on what that thumbnail should be. So I've uploaded the course image. And then course compliance, it is only available on paid plans, not on the free plan. And then you can also enforce graded quiz completion. Here's your default thank you page you can set up, and then you can duplicate or delete this course. The next is pages. This is your course sales page, your checkout page, and your thank you page, and you can edit them here. Now from your sales page, your students are going to go to your checkout page, and looks like the checkout page is not published right now. We want to publish it so we can start collecting payment. And that would be the next step. And now I can publish this page. You can also view your page before hitting the publish button to see what it looks like. So now that our checkout page is live, I can go back to pages, and technically you can start selling your course and making money because it shows that all of these are now published. And you can add a new sales page here too if you wanted to, but your checkout and thank you page will remain the same. So that was it for the pages part. Drip allows you to drip out content. They're not consuming a ton of content on day one, and you can control, maybe you want to drip out the rest of the modules after 1 week of enrollment, or each module you would like it to be dripped out maybe 3 days after their enrollment. You can do that, but you have to be on the paid plan. Coupons, you can create coupons, but you have to be on the paid plan to do that. And then you can also create bundles, and you can put contents into a bundle. So say you have a photography course, and you have within that photography course, you have different photography courses: photography of moving objects, photography of stationary objects, photography of kids playing soccer, whatever your courses might be. Maybe you want to bundle them all into one course. You can use bundles to do that. And certificates allow you to generate certificates for your students to give them that certificate of completion. Also only available on the paid plan. And there you have it, course heroes. That is how you can become a course hero and set up your own Teachable school in less than an hour. Thank you so much for watching. Before you leave, consider hitting the subscribe button so you get notified every time we release a new video. I will see you on the flip side.